Is Victor Newman finally about to break the one thing he always says he's trying to protect? I'm talking about his own family. We have all seen the Moustache play God before, but this time feels different. This time, his target is Nick. And the stakes? Well, they involve a ghost from the past that's about to absolutely shatter Phyllis Summers' entire world. Was this really just a simple mistake on Nick's part? Or is Victor just manufacturing a crisis so he can reclaim his throne of control? Stick around, because Genoa City is about to witness an emotional meltdown that makes a hurricane look like a light spring breeze. Monday, May 18th, isn't just another day in the Midwest. It is a full-on collision course for the Newman and Summers legacies. We are seeing a classic power shift here. Victor isn't just watching from the sidelines anymore. He's measuring, he's judging, and he's questioning Nick's judgment at a time when Nick is already bleeding emotionally. Think about why this is happening. It's not actually about business. It's about Victor sensing a crack in Nick's armor. When Victor sees what he calls weakness, he doesn't offer a hand to pull you up. He offers a leash to pull you in. Honestly, I think Victor gets bored when his kids are strong. He only really becomes a predator when they're vulnerable. While Nick is out there fighting for his own life and his independence, Phyllis is facing a massive twist involving Matt Clark. The sources say this is going to leave her completely unglued. Unglued is such a scary word to use for Phyllis, isn't it? It means the armor is totally gone. This isn't just a bad day for her. This is a psychological collapse. Let's really get into the head of the Newman family for a second. Victor Newman doesn't just ask questions. He plants seeds of doubt that grow into giant forests of insecurity. He's looking at Nick right now because he thinks Nick is letting his feelings and his pain call the shots. Victor works on this cold, black and white logic. You are either a winner or you're a liability. By questioning Nick's judgment right now, Victor is basically telling his son that his humanity is a defect. Imagine being Nick for a minute. You've just survived a total trauma. You're trying to find your footing. And the one person who should be your rock is actually just standing there, silently judging you, waiting for you to trip. Nick isn't just feeling pressured here. He's feeling betrayed in the most quiet, sneaky way possible. I see this as more than just a father and son having a fight. This is a battle over what it even means to be a man in Genoa City. Victor thinks it means being a cold, calculating machine. Nick thinks it means loyalty and having a heart. When Victor doubts Nick, he's attacking who Nick is at his core. If you ask me, Victor is being a total hypocrite. He says he's protecting the family, but by breaking Nick's confidence, he's actually making the whole family more of a target. He's creating the exact weakness he says he's so afraid of. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's honestly painful to watch. It's classic narcissistic behavior. Victor's ego is so tied up in his kids' success that he can't let them fail on their own terms. If they fail, he thinks it makes him look bad. So, he has to control everything. He doesn't see Nick as an adult. He sees him as a tool. He can't quite get to work right. Now, let's talk about the red in the room. Phyllis is about to hit a brick wall, and that wall's name is Matt Clark. The sources tell us this next twist with Matt is going to leave her unglued. Why Matt Clark? Because for Phyllis, he's not just some old villain. He is a total trauma trigger. He represents a time when she wasn't the one in control. When Phyllis loses her grip, she doesn't just sit down and cry. She lashes out. She turns into a one-woman war room. Inside, she has to be feeling that primal fight or flight response. She survives by being the smartest person in the room, by reading people, and by pushing everyone's buttons. If Matt Clark takes that away from her, she's just a raw nerve in a designer dress. We have to look at this unglued state differently. It's not just a breakdown. It's like the Phyllis persona is being stripped away. We're going to see the woman behind the schemes, and I bet that woman is absolutely terrified. Honestly, I love seeing a cracked version of Phyllis. That's when she's the most dangerous. The sources say she's going to drag everyone into her chaos, and you know what? Good. Genoa City needs a wake-up call, even if it comes from a woman who's losing her mind. She refuses to sit still, and that's exactly why we can't stop watching. It's a total system failure of her coping mechanisms. She uses sarcasm and fire to hide how scared she is. But when a threat gets this personal, the sarcasm stops working. She goes into panic mode, revenge mode, and protective mode all at the same time. And then, because the universe just loves irony, Sharon walks in. The source says Sharon gives her some unsolicited advice. We all know that's basically like throwing a lit match into a room full of gasoline. Sharon is acting like a therapist, but all Phyllis sees is a rival. To Phyllis, Sharon's calm, soothing voice isn't help. It's a direct attack. It's Sharon saying, "Look at me. I'm the stable one, and you're just a mess." Phyllis feels seen in the worst way possible. She hates being vulnerable. Sharon's advice makes that panic visible to everyone, and that is the one thing Phyllis can't stand. This is a total clash of how people survive. Sharon uses emotional control and analysis. Phyllis uses action and fire. They are speaking two different languages while the house is burning down around them. If you ask me, Sharon's timing is just terrible. Even if she's right, and the sources say she might be, giving advice to an unglued Phyllis is a total rookie mistake. It comes off as condescending, and I don't blame Phyllis for pushing back. Sharon is basically stepping into Phyllis's personal space without being invited. For someone like Phyllis, who already feels backed into a corner by this Matt Clark news, Sharon just looks like another predator she has to fight off. It's like Sharon is using her therapist role to avoid her own life. By trying to fix Phyllis, she doesn't have to look at the problems in her own world. While all that's exploding, Adam and Chelsea are off in the corner claiming they're taking the high road. But they're also sharpening their knives. They're plotting against a rival, but they've convinced themselves it's strategic, not cruel. This is that classic rehabilitated villain thing where they change their words, but not their hearts. They're telling themselves, it's us against the world. And they're using that to justify whatever they do. It's like an echo chamber of revenge. They feel like they have to do this just to survive. I call it the high road mirage. They want everyone to think they're better people, but they aren't willing to actually be better if it means losing an edge. They're just dressing up their schemes in nicer language. I'm not buying it for a second. Adam and Chelsea taking the high road feels like a PR stunt for their own souls. They are still the same people who live for the shadows. And honestly, the show is better that way. Nobody wants a boring Adam. We want the guy who has a backup plan for his backup plan. They're dealing with major cognitive dissonance. They want to believe they're good, but they also want to destroy their enemies. To fix that tension in their heads, they just rebrand destruction as protection. It's a really dangerous mental game they're playing. Things are going to get so much worse before they get any better. As Victor keeps doubting Nick, he's not just staying quiet. He's planting seeds in everyone else's head. Victor has this quiet power. He can ask one pointed question and turn the whole town against Nick's judgment. If Victor tells people Nick is too damaged, Nick becomes a total outcast in his own company. This is how Victor steps in. He isolates you until you have no choice but to let him take over. Meanwhile, that Matt Clark twist is like a storm cloud hanging over everyone. If Phyllis moves too fast, she's going to expose herself. If she fights with Sharon, she loses the only person who might actually help her. She's cornered. And a cornered Phyllis Summers is the most unpredictable thing in the world. I'm predicting a massive fallout from this. I think Nick is going to feel so betrayed by Victor's lack of support that he's going to make a really reckless move just to prove he can. He's going to defy his father, but he might be walking right into a trap that Victor already sees. It's a total tragedy. And Phyllis? Being unglued is just the start. I think she's going to go completely rogue. She's going to ignore Sharon, go around Nick, and go straight for whatever this Matt Clark twist is. It's not going to be a clean fight. It's going to be messy, and she's probably going to burn bridges that she can never fix. And what about Adam and Chelsea? Their high road is going to crumble the second their rival hits back. They think they're being smart, but they've totally underestimated who they're dealing with. Their little plot is going to blow up in their faces, and everyone is going to see them for the schemers they still are. I want to hear what you think about all this. Genoa City is a total powder keg right now. So, here are my big questions for you. Is Victor actually trying to protect Nick? Or is he just using Nick's pain as an excuse to grab the wheel again? Is this love? Or is it just a power move? And what about Sharon? Does she have any right to be giving Phyllis advice? Or should she just mind her own business for once? Is she being a good person, or is she just being classic Sharon and meddling where she isn't wanted? Let's get a real debate going in the comments. These characters are all at their breaking points, and I want to know whose side you are taking. Every choice they're making on Monday is based on their worst instincts: control, fear, pride, and revenge. The real question isn't if things are going to explode. It's who is even going to be left standing when the smoke clears. If you loved this deep dive into the psychological war happening on the young and the restless, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We don't just tell you what happened on the show. We tell you why it happened and what it really means for the characters you love. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the drama. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Look closer at that cold concern the sources mention. It's such a weird phrase. Usually, when you're concerned about someone, it's warm. Cold concern sounds like a doctor looking at a patient, or a boss looking at a failing employee. Victor is watching, measuring, and judging. That's not how a father acts. That's how a CEO acts when he's looking at a branch of his company that's losing money. The real danger here is that Victor has never known how to be a dad without being a boss. To him, Nick is a son, sure, but he's also an asset. If the asset is broken, Victor's first instinct is to fix it by taking away its power. There is a lot of hidden fear in Victor, though. The sources say his worry comes from both fear and love. He's terrified of losing his family, but the only way he knows how to keep them is to control them. It's a total tragedy. He's pushing them away while trying to pull them close. We have to see Victor's doubt as a weapon. When he asks Nick if he can think clearly, he's basically gaslighting him. He's making Nick doubt his own mind. That is psychological warfare, even if Victor calls it a fatherly talk. I think Victor is actually jealous that Nick can feel things so deeply. Victor has spent his whole life crushing his emotions to build his empire. Seeing Nick in pain reminds Victor of the parts of himself he killed off a long time ago. He wants to shut that down in Nick because he's always shutting it down in himself. He's projecting his own fears of being weak onto his son. By protecting Nick from being reckless, he's really just trying to protect himself from the discomfort of watching someone he loves suffer. He can't handle the messiness of being human, so he tries to turn it into a business problem he can solve with a checkbook or a boardroom move. And let's look back at that word unglued for Phyllis. It's so important because Phyllis is the glue of her own life.
She's self-made.
She's fierce. She doesn't depend on anyone. When she comes unglued, it means her whole life story is falling apart. She's always told herself she can handle anything, but Matt Clark proves she can't. This twist is dragging up old trauma and old fury that she thought was dead and buried. It's not just a plot point. It's a ghost coming back to haunt her. Inside, she has to be feeling like she's losing herself. If she can't be the sharp, button-pushing Phyllis we know, then who is she? She feels totally exposed. This Matt Clark situation is the ultimate test. Has she actually grown, or is she going to go back to her dirtiest fighting tactics? The source says she cracks, but she doesn't crack alone. She's going to take the whole city down with her. I think it's about time someone really challenged her like this. She's been way too comfortable lately. The Matt Clark factor is the perfect way to remind her, and us, that the past is never really gone in Genoa City. It's going to be amazing, messy TV. She's in a state of high alert, ready to bite anyone who gets too close, and that definitely includes Sharon. Sharon is in such a weird spot. She sees someone spiraling and feels like she has to step in. But is she doing it for Phyllis, or is she doing it to feel good about herself? Sharon has seen enough chaos to know it when she sees it, but by giving advice nobody asked for, she's breaking the biggest rule of being a therapist. She's trying to manage Phyllis, and Phyllis sees right through it. Sharon probably feels like she's being a savior, but she doesn't realize that her being there is actually making the storm worse. It's a power struggle. By being the sane one, Sharon is basically calling Phyllis the crazy one. Sharon really needs to back off. You don't just walk up to a wounded animal and tell it to take a deep breath. It's dangerous, and it's honestly pretty arrogant. Sharon thinks she can stop the explosion, but she's actually the one holding the match. She's using her job as a therapist to avoid her own mess. If she focuses on fixing Phyllis, She doesn't have to think about the trust issues in her own life. It's a total diversion. And then you have Adam and Chelsea. Taking the high road is just a performance for them. They want the world to believe they've grown up, but old habits die hard. The second they see a rival, the high road becomes a backup plan. They're using the word strategy because it sounds better than revenge. They are so insecure. They don't trust the world to be fair, so they feel like they have to plot just to keep what they have. Their whole partnership is based on this secret they share, that they haven't actually changed at all. They think their rival deserves what's coming, which lets them stay the good guys in their own heads while they do bad things. It's a masterclass in lying to yourself. I actually think they're way more fun when they're being bad. The high road version of them is kind of a snooze. Give me the plotting version any day. It's more honest. They haven't integrated their darker sides. They're just trying to hide them. And that always leads to a disaster. Genoa City is a total mess of pressure points right now. The Matt Clark twist is the spark that's going to make all these cracks turn into a full-on explosion. I'm telling you, trust is breaking everywhere. Victor doesn't trust Nick. Nick doesn't trust Victor. Phyllis doesn't trust Sharon. And Adam and Chelsea don't trust anyone. Monday is going to be about consequences. Every single character is making a move based on their worst traits. It's not a question of if it all falls apart, but who's going to be left standing when it's over. Make sure you subscribe and like if you want more of this. What do you think is the biggest threat right now? Is it Victor's need for control, or is it Matt Clark coming back from the dead? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, don't always trust the people on the high road. Do you think Victor Newman is actually capable of just being a dad? Or is everything always a game of chess for him? I've been looking at the spoilers for Monday, May 18th, and it really feels like Victor is about to cross a line with Nick that he might not be able to uncross. Think about it for a second. Victor is watching his own son with this kind of cold concern that usually leads to a full-blown family war. Was this really just a simple mistake on Nick's part? Or is Victor Newman just manufacturing a crisis so he can get his hands back on the steering wheel of Nick's life? You have to wonder if Victor even realizes how much damage he's doing. He sees Nick struggling, and instead of giving him a hand, he starts questioning his brain. The sources say Victor is measuring and judging every move Nick makes. It's like he's watching a business asset fail instead of a son who is genuinely hurting. Honestly, the funny thing is that Victor probably convinced himself he's being a hero here. He likely believes he's protecting Nick from making a reckless move. But have you ever had someone help you by telling you that you aren't thinking straight? It doesn't feel like love. It feels like a total slap in the face. Nick is not a child. He has spent years trying to be his own man and his own moral compass. But Victor has this way of pulling everyone back into his orbit. One look or one quiet accusation from Victor can make the whole room feel smaller. That is the emotional trap Nick is walking into on Monday. If he listens to his dad, he loses his independence. If he ignores him, he might walk straight into a trap Victor already sees coming. What would you do if your father was the one person making you doubt your own sanity? While the Newmans are busy tearing each other apart, Phyllis is about to hit a brick wall. And that wall's name is Matt Clark. The spoilers use a very specific word for her: unglued. She isn't just annoyed or worried. She is coming apart at the seams. Why Matt Clark? Well, think about their history. He's not a name that brings anyone peace. For Phyllis, this is a ghost from a past she thought she handled or buried. This twist is dragging back old fear and old trauma. When Phyllis is truly unglued, she doesn't just sit in a room and cry. She becomes a one-woman war room. She cracks, and she rarely cracks alone. She's going to drag everyone in Genoa City into her nightmare.